in continuing our South Africa series, where we are now spending the month of December in South Africa. This weekend we are spending time in Cederberg, which is a small mountain range. You can see the mountains here of Cederberg. We're spending the weekend here. We've rented some nice cabins. We'll show you around those in a second. Over this course of this weekend, we're planning on doing some hiking, going up to a waterfall. You can actually see one right up here somewhere, wherever it is, that we're gonna hike up to. And also there's an arch that we're gonna go to. So we're pretty excited about all of that. Just to kick this off, we want to show you around where we're staying.
Welcome to our little stay for the weekend. We are in Wolfberg Arch cottage. Let me show you around. We're staying in this really cute 2-bedroom. Come on in. It's a really nice little lounge area here. First, let me show you the little kitchenette. We love how it's modern but has some warmth. Let me show you our bedroom, bathroom on the way. This is where we will be staying, my favorite room in the place. Beautiful windows with a stunning view and double doors that lead out to this amazing patio. I can already tell you I will be hanging out at this picnic table with the fire going later tonight. And then in here we have a second bedroom, 2 twin beds, and that's it. So this is where we're staying for the weekend. We cannot wait to take you along for our hiking. I hear that one is about 8 hours, so we will see how we do.
In walking distance of our cabin is the campsites, along with a little creek. Further down on the creek down there is what they call a swimming hole. When I was here years ago, it was a really fun place to swim. This was a swimming hole when the water's higher. It's a little bit low right now. So one of Erica's favorite memories here is driving over the water, which there is none. So we're not sure if this has changed since we were kids.
Day 1, hike 1. Where are we going?
We're going to that waterfall, if you can see it up in the background. So we have to hike down through the campground and then across and up that side, upwards to those peaks.
It's meant to take about 2.5 hours.
Round trip.
Round trip, so
it's not that far. So this is where the actual trail portion starts. We just made it out of the campground, and now we get the slow and gradual climb all the way up this side of the mountain here. It's kind of a leisurely pace here at the bottom in the foothills for now. So how'd you get yourself up there?
I could reenact it for you, but I'd have to get down first. I kind of like hugged the rock and then lifted myself up very awkwardly, but now I don't know how to get down.
We're about at the halfway point, I think. We've now covered most of the flatter section coming up here, where it's kind of the foothills, and now we're starting, as I fall off my rock. Now we're starting to go to the more steep section going up, because the waterfall is up here, further up in that canyon. So now it's a little bit more of a climb instead of a gradual uphill slope. Since we're in the steeper part now, the name of the game right now is switchbacks. So you go a little ways and you turn around the corner like this, what we're doing right now. And then you keep on another flat section for a little ways. And that way you're able to make it up the pretty steep embankment. As down there is the last time we showed you where we were at that trail. Hopefully this waterfall sign means we are at the end of our switchbacks, and now we just have to go laterally to get to where the waterfall is. Being the adventurous people we are, we chose to walk to the bottom of the waterfall, which you can probably hear in the background, but it's pretty sweet. Very tall, nice cool breeze. And that brings us to the waterfall. It's actually a really cool waterfall. It's really pretty. It's right at the top of the big canyon that we just walked up. It goes all the way down there. So pretty long ways up to stand here at the edge of, but the water's nice and cool. It's a pretty good view up here, and it's really nice looking out over kind of where our cabin is, way at the bottom of the valley as well. Definitely worth the 1.5-hour hike up here. To get to the waterfall, you have to scramble over some rocks and stuff. So this is the kind of tree rock path that we had to get through to get out. And so this starts our descent back down all the switchbacks, and we're actually going to take a slightly different trail once we get to the quote-unquote foothills. We're going to cross over the creek and walk down the other side, but the switchbacks are all the same going down. They're just slightly more dangerous because going down a steep hill with big rocks is worse on your knees than going up, and it's also hard picking the right path because you can't quite see what's below all the time. About halfway down, we just took the turn to the trail that we're about to ford the waterfall to walk on the other side of the canyon down. We stopped for a snack break in the shade because it's getting mighty close to lunch and food is important. Now that we're on the other side of the river, it's much easier to see which way we went. So we started all the way down here by there's little tanks down there, you can see it, and we walked up here in kind of a slow path all the way along here, and then we got to about up there, and that's where the split for the trail on this side of the creek that we're on now is. But going up, we did a bunch of switchbacks that went back and forth up here, and eventually the waterfall we got to was all the way up there. And now we're headed back down on this side.
This morning we are starting on our Wolfberg Cracks hike, going up there, and then what's waiting at the top?
So we're going up through Wolfberg Cracks, and then we also have the Arch up at the top. It's a 2-kilometer hike up this steep hill, bunch of switchbacks. We're starting now just over 3,000 feet. Once we get to the top, we'll figure out where we are. And then there's about a 5 or 7 kilometer hike across the top to get to the Arch.
Yeah, so we've budgeted about 8 hours, and I'm guessing it's probably going to take about that. This is going to be the longest hike I have ever done, and I'm slightly intimidated but also excited. One of my friends did a 16-hour hike in Montana, so I just keep telling myself that this is like half that, and if she can do that, then I can do this.
We have discovered our first casualty of this trip. Right here you can see the glass is cracked here. So apparently knocked it against the rock on something. And so now we're filming with slightly broken glass. These little lizards are all over the place. Different colors, different sizes, but they all love the sun and they're all a little bit skittish. Well, now we're in the slightly much steeper section. You can see if you look way down there, it's where we parked. We're coming up this through a bunch of switchbacks. We don't have that terribly far to go. It's still a pretty long ways. We're going up there, the crack. Slowly making progress. So this is getting closer to the cracks, where you can see them towering up here above us. Our trail is going to end up going up here, and we're going to go into the one of the crack on the right. What'd you find?
Yeah, he's warning you, dude. Get away.
We made it to the top of the climb. It was 2 kilometers up, or a mile and a half almost.
1.43 miles, and it's taken us an hour and 6 minutes.
And so now we're at the bottom of these cracks, or you can see all the way down where we came from. We're headed this way. How was the climb?
It's not been bad. Conserving my energy right now.
Okay, there's a handhold right up here.
So the next part of this is walking along a cliff face. Coming? I don't like how loose this rope is.
Yeah, no, I know.
And this is where we start the arch, right up here, if you can see my hand. And it goes up and through, so we get to boulder through all of that.
Next, we're going up there. I'm loving this. This is really fun.
Check out the view behind you.
That's cool. I'm not doing that.
Come on, Joel.
Oh wait, I have to do that.
That is the way.
Ah! Well, someone at least took it on.
Go on your right side, there's a crevice you can fit your hands in. Come on, backpack.
Okay.
So that brings us to the top of the Wolfberg Cracks. Through all that climbing, you can see we just climbed up all the way, this crack that goes all the way down. We came up through here. Now the 5K hike across to the arch and then turn around and come back this way. But we're gonna go down a different crack once we come back. Once you get through the cracks and you're up on the top, it is actually fairly flat. So as you can see here, like we're walking along just like a flat area. You do go up and over some pieces, and we talked to some hikers that were headed down that said there's actually a valley dip before we get to the arch, but from here supposedly it's gonna be a fairly straight hike. And I just checked, we are now at 4,780 feet. The parking lot was at 3,030, so we've done like 1,750 feet of elevation in about 2 kilometers. Someone can do the math on what that pitch is. As this trail kind of winds through rocks and stuff, it's not always easy to see where we're going.
Yeah.
So people were very nice to put kerns.
Yep.
And so, as long as you follow the kerns, you'll slowly make it across the plain. Let's see. Here's another one. There's another one there. I've been walking for maybe like 20 minutes up here on the top, and I think where we're going is right up here where the arch is. So it's kind of up and down. It's less flat than I thought it would be, but still good following the kerns if we don't get lost. The arch is right here. After taking a short break for lunch, we are back out on the hike across the plateau, top of the mountain, whatever we call this. It's kind of leveled out a little bit. It's less bouldering and more just walking on the flat now. So it's moving a little bit faster. We're mildly behind schedule, so we're making up some time. But from here, we're getting close enough that the arch is slowly becoming visible. Might still be a little bit far out for you guys. We have now made it to the beach portion of this walk. It's all sand. But it's a very white sand, so it's a little bit interesting, and you're walking in a bunch of like reed type plants. It's just interesting how you go through different biomes all in one little place. And the flatness of the plains has gone away. We're not sure if we're going the right way because we're looking for more kerns. I think it's over here, bud. Before we got lost, what I was trying to say is the plains over there were flat. We're now going up this, no longer flat. So back to climbing. We'll give you an elevation check at the top. So the arch has been behind the rocks that we've been climbing for a little while. And so we just came up here. We thought it was gonna be right here by the close rocks. Turns out it's all the way over there, across all of this.
We made it!
We've been up here about 20 minutes, taking some pretty cool shots. It's just a really cool view from both sides because here you see over the valley into the other valley. We're not staying in that valley, we're staying in the valley on this side. And then over here, you also see down to a different plane and you're in the shade of the arch. So it's been super, super cool up here. So glad we came up here now for the 4-hour hike going back down.
It was 100% worth it. So cool. Just make sure you have hiking shoes.
Oh, also, the one thing that I said we were going to check in on is elevation up here. The elevation right now, we are at 5120. So since we started the parking lot at 3030, this is about 2100 feet higher than where we started it. As you probably saw from when we arrived at the arch, my parents made it there before us. So Joelle and I were out in front and we were following the kerns, which apparently there was 2 different sets of kerns. We took the long route, also the steep route, more climbing route, and then we chose to wait for them because we thought they were going to have trouble. But when we
saw them,
when we looked up, they were in the arch. So then we had to speed up to catch up to them. So we're taking the easier path down now. I'm hoping it's a lot easier because the other one had some ups and downs, and also we gave them like a 15-minute head start because I wanted to get a few more drone shots and they didn't.
It was worth it.
It was definitely worth it, but we're playing catch up and I've now been talking to the vlog and not looking for kerns.
Oh shoot, I haven't either.
And
well, you know what?
Over there, found one.
Okay.
All right, and now we can keep going. So, too many things going on. Trying to find footing, trying to talk to you guys, and also trying to find kerns to know where we're going.
So we'll meet up with you guys in a bit. How's that?
We'll see you guys in a bit. Problem with kerns is anyone can make a kern, and as we're coming back,
we're starting to realize that not all currents lead the same way. So we may be going back a different way. Not that it's much worse, but we're getting to see the other side of the mountaintop then, which is kind of cool.
Hey Joelle, guess what I see?
Do you see the cracks?
That's the top of the cracks. That little trail down there, that leads to the cracks because you can see the sign.
We're at the top of the cracks now. We came up this crack and we're going down this one, a slightly less technical crack. So we're getting pretty close to the bottom of this crack. There's a pretty sweet view up here. Take you guys to, because it looks pretty sweet, clearly. I'm pretty sure I'm avoiding the way down, but I still want to see what this view looks like. So, and our trail starts right there. And this is coming out of the crack. Now we have all of this down to that car right there. That's where we're going.
So we're almost to the car, and this last leg has been the hardest by far because it's all downhill and my legs are exhausted and just really feeling it. So every step down is just like a effort, and the whole like past probably 5 hours or so I've just been like on repeat in my head, like, I love my body, thank you body, you're doing so great body. Like, it's helped a ton. So if you ever find yourself doing a pretty challenging hike, definitely recommend having a mantra of some sort because it helps you to be able to stay in a strong mental state throughout the whole thing.
That brings us to the bottom. We've done just over 7 hours and just under 10 miles, and from the top to the bottom was about 2,200 feet of elevation change. Definitely a really good hike. Would definitely recommend it. We'll drop a pin for this in the link below if you're ever in this area. We checked out of our cabin this morning and we're leaving Algeria, which is where we were staying in the Cederberg Mountains. And on our way out, we chose to stop by Stadsaal, which means City Hall in Afrikaans. And it's basically a collection of rocks that, one, make for really good scrambling, but also there's caves in them. So you can kind of walk through some of these or look in some of the caves, which is really cool. And at the same place we are right now, there is some cave paintings from the Sands people or Bushmen from up until about 200 years ago. They lived in these valleys. So it's really interesting to see this, but also to just scramble up on some of the rocks here because I like rock scrambling and it's just a lot of fun. So we're going to take and show you around some of this. Oh, hello. So just coming out of one of these little caves, trying to scramble up on top of the rocks to see what's up here. Probably not the safest to do while holding a camera, but it is a pretty good view up here. That kind of rounds out the time we've spent here in the Cederberg Mountains. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Comment on what was your favorite part, or subscribe if you want to keep seeing some of this content that we are creating while we're here in South Africa. Otherwise, see you guys next week.